Yeah, Dave, you just talk about how this came about, the conversations leading up to this, and then what your role actually will be as co-offensive coordinator.
Well, I think what took place is obviously when Coach Rochar left, I was interested, I was hopeful that Coach D'Antonio would have the confidence in me to give me this title. I'm very appreciative of that confidence that Coach has given me. But at the same time, I'm sure you all read that he was not in any hurry to make a decision, which is always the way he goes about things. He's going to be very careful and deliberate in the decisions he makes. Above all else, I think, or above most things, I guess you could say staff is staff and staff continuity and making the right decisions so we have the right people in the meeting rooms is very, very important to him. So it was a long process. It seemed like about a year and a half to me. And Coach D and I had some conversations throughout the period where he was trying to make a decision. I was hopeful as the days went on, and when news sort of broke, he didn't have any choice but to let me know exactly what his plans were. As far as my responsibilities right now, I'm going to obviously coach the running backs, which would be nice, a nice change of pace for me. I'm going to be sort of leading things, I guess you could say, according to Coach D's words, leading things as we put a game plan together. I do want to emphasize that things really will not change as far as how we go about things during the week. I mean, we've always been an offensive staff that has worked together, build the game plan throughout the week. It's input really from everybody on our offensive staff, and I see that being the case here as we move forward.
Obviously, you've been here the whole time of Coach. So first question is, on field, are people going to see a difference with a Dave Warner offense? And then off the field, behind the scenes, what are some things that you hope to do differently?
Well, I think I think the things off the field lead to the things on the field. I think obviously everybody, I'm sure, is looking to see what we're going to do to improve our offense, and I think those things are still out there to be answered. Certainly, I think if you look at what we did last year, we came up short in a lot of cases scoring-wise, and I think a lot of things led to that. That's what spring practice is for, these next couple weeks, to figure out what we can do to improve that. And I'm sure a lot of it has to do with being a little bit more creative, a little bit more imaginative with our offense. But it's still going to be Coach D'Antonio's offense. But we are going to certainly tweak things and adjust things a little bit to fit Coach D'Antonio's philosophy, but at the same time makes it more productive.
Coach, how much of it is an advantage for you having coached the quarterbacks now to be calling the plays, I assume, and putting the structure together? I've got to believe that relationship you have with the quarterbacks is going to be a big plus. Yeah,
I have sort of inside knowledge, I guess you would say, just from spending time with these guys throughout the years. I know their strengths, their weaknesses. So certainly that helps. And now I'll be obviously spending more time with the running backs, get a feel for those guys. But at the same time, Coach D'Antonio's philosophy is it frees me up a little bit more to sort of get around everybody on our offense and get a feel for everybody across our offensive football team. And that certainly, all that helps in putting your offense together and putting your game plan together by knowing strengths and weaknesses of everybody.
Dave, what's your understanding of how the duties will be split between you and Coach Bowman as well? I know you've had a working relationship with him before a little bit, or at least have known him from before. But how do you see that chemistry going, and maybe how breaking down with play calling? And
yeah, I don't know. That's something that I think we'll sort of figure out day by day. I've known Coach Bowman since, as I remember back, I think it was about 1985 when he was at NC State, and I was at Kent State, I guess. Ran into each other recruiting, have known each other. Have never worked together, but certainly know a lot of him, a lot about him, and just throughout the last few days that we've had a chance to be together a couple days, and we've talked on the phone since spring break's taking place. I see it being a very good working relationship, and how all that breaks down into the duties, that's just sort of something that we're going to work through. So it's a day-by-day process for us.
Dave, what characteristics make a good play caller, And when you look at a game, what makes you say, hey, that guy really did a good job calling plays?
I guess probably the big thing that I think makes a good play caller is a guy that is able to think quick. Certainly, a lot of that has to go into the preparation, being prepared as you go into the game, having a feel for your personnel, what they can do and what they can't do. But again, there'll be a lot of input from everybody on our staff. Certainly, when things are working, it makes it a lot easier to call plays. We know that, and we struggled with that again this past year. So it's hard to call plays when all of a sudden you're second and long a lot of times. I mean, that's hard for anybody. As things tend to be successful in your first down calls and so on and so forth, it just makes it a lot bit easier. So, it's just a feel thing, but a lot of it goes into the preparation during the week.
Dave, obviously you were at UConn for a couple years, and I think Mark mentioned yesterday that you also called plays at Kansas. Is that right?
For a few years at Kansas, yes.
Yeah. What was how did you grow as a play caller at that time? I mean, do you think of yourself now as a lot different in terms of your philosophy at all? Now versus then?
Yeah. I guess yes. I guess things have changed. Back at Kansas, I can certainly remember the first couple games I called. I know for sure weren't very good by me. We still won, but I just did not do a good job. A couple other places, Bucknell, a couple other places, UConn, where I called plays. It was sort of a work in progress. We were Bucknell. We were pretty good actually in the Patriot League, but UConn we were outmatched a lot. So probably a little bit more aggressive, and I can see right here and now though this is the big spotlight, So obviously there's a lot of eyes on us, and this will be a little bit more pressure packed. I'm sure everybody's going to have their opinion, and that's part of the fun. That's part of the pressure. So I don't know if things change a whole lot other than the fact that there's more eyes on us here.
Coach, you mentioned the spotlight. One of the things Coach D'Antonio brought up yesterday was how well Andrew Maxwell handled that last year, and he attributed a lot of Maxwell's poise to you. Can you talk about Andrew Maxwell's ability to handle the poise? And also, my second part of the question is, how much does the play calling depend on the quarterbacks? And do you want a standard offense, or do you think you'll be tailoring some of the play calling depending on packages or quarterbacks?
First part of your question, as far as Andrew Maxwell, I've said this time and time again over the years that Andrew's very mature young man. He's been that way over the years, a lot like Kirk. I mean, I was very lucky to have those guys play quarterback here for the last 4 years. So I think that's mostly on Andrew, how well he handled it. And I'm sure he struggled. I know he struggled behind the scenes somewhat, some of the negativity towards him. But I think he handled it as well as he could. And again, that has a lot to do with him. As you look forward to the play calling, how it focuses around the quarterback, certainly it does. Our offense is focused around the quarterback. We're gonna tailor our offense around what the quarterback does best. As you look at last year, certainly our pass game was not what we wanted it to be, and there's a lot of factors for that. Andrew needs to play a little bit better. Our offensive line needs to protect a little bit better. Receivers need to run a little bit better routes, catch the ball a little bit better. Backs need to block a little bit better. It's a full team deal, and as a coaching staff, we realize that. So we'll just see how it affects us here in the months to come, I guess, as we approach the season. But certainly the quarterback is a big part of what you do play calling wise. Absolutely.
Dave, the biggest trend in successful offenses in contemporary football is the mobility at the quarterback position. Do you intend to try to incorporate some of that given the skill sets of the different guys you've got, or how do you try to trend that way a little bit?
As our quarterback can execute those sort of plays, we can certainly implement them. And that's not Andrew's strength, but at the same time, I think that he's capable of doing a fairly good job of moving around the pocket. Whether it's a design quarterback run or whether it's a quarterback scramble, that's something that, especially the quarterback scramble, that's something I tried to emphasize with him. second half of the year, especially the second half of the year. And moving forward, that's something that we're going to emphasize with Andrew and with those younger guys. How much of the quarterback run game is implemented depends on who the quarterback is and how well they can execute it. So, question to be answered here probably during spring and into the fall.
Dave, with your past experience as a passing game coordinator, I guess, how does that role work? I mean, is it as simple as calling the passing plays and someone else calls the running plays? And what are the differences? And also, do you think you could see that could be a role that this could work out between you and Bowman, where you would handle passing game duties and he could handle the running game?
Really, my only experience of calling pass plays only goes way back to my beginnings at Kansas. I think it's difficult to juggle the two, to have two people making that call, just because, I mean, who's decide whether you're running or passing, you know? And it becomes into a little bit of a tug of war. Not that Coach Bowman and I would do that, but I think it just makes it a little bit, it allows for some indecisiveness there. So certainly I'm very much in favor of just having one play caller. And as long as we can agree during the week, you know, what our package is in certain situations. Obviously, we have our third down packages and red zone and coming out, and you know, all that's decided during the week. So it's really just a matter of picking the plays and being a little bit creative during the week, so you can keep defenses off balance and create some big plays, hopefully.
Dave, a couple questions. Early thoughts on maybe replacing a Deion Sims and a Le'Veon Bell, and also you mentioned the bigger spotlight. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about yourself, your hobbies outside of football, things like that.
As far as replacing those two guys, that's going to be tough. You know, we started looking at a little bit of cutouts from this past year, and you know, Le'Veon Bell both those guys were offense. As you look at some of our run games, from this past year, it's hard to imagine it without Le'Veon. Now, at the same time, we have some young guys that I think have a chance of coming in and doing some good things. We have some guys on our football team now that are going to get a great opportunity. Nick Hill's certainly a guy that showed that he can do some good things given when he's been in there. Jeremy Langford's a guy that has bounced around a little bit and sort of settled at running back and has shown some good flashes. So the question's out there who that guy's going to be or who those guys are going to be at running back. But you know, it's going to be very important for us to find an answer to that. Tight end, same deal. Deion Sims was a go-to guy for us. Who's going to replace him? We don't know. But spring practice is in front of us. That's what we need to find out. We only have one tight end coming in as a freshman, Dylan Chimura, who's a big kid that hopefully he's able to come in and show some things. But it's always tough to do. Come in, you know, the running back position. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to come in and use your athletic ability to play right away. The closer you get to the line of scrimmage, the harder it is to play right away, I think. But he'll be given some opportunity, that's for sure.
Dave, obviously a lot's made of the passing game, the quarterback situation. What about the running game in specific? What would you like to adjust there? Is it just a matter of executing better, or are there some different things you'd like to do within the running game?
I don't know that we need to do a whole lot different there. Our run game was really on par to where it's been, and that's not to say it was great, but our run game did not gradually over the last couple of years decrease. We were in the run game 7th in the Big Ten this past year. Where previously years we've been 5th, we've been 7th. We've been right at that 4.0 range, which is about where we want to be. So I think we're going to stay with what we've been doing a lot. And again, as much as anything, it's going to come down to what our quarterback can do to add some wrinkles in our run game, along with, you know, any possible trick plays that get in there that's going to add to your rushing yardage. But the challenge is out there, certainly, without Le'Veon Bell being the guy carrying the football. Challenge is there for us to maintain and hopefully get a little bit better in the run game.
Coach, a lot's been made of Andrew's intelligence, ability to read defenses. I wonder, how much freeze did you run last year, and will you run some of that this year, the multiple play calls at the line? I mean, how much control will your quarterback have at the line of scrimmage as these defense seems to get more complicated with their shifts and personnel adjustments?
I think it'll be pretty much what we've been over the years. I think our quarterbacks have had a very good understanding of what we can do run-wise in the defenses, what we can do pass-wise, protections. That's probably the one thing that our guys did a good job of handling the protections, changing protections. I think there's some room for us to continue to grow there as far as changing protections to keep us from throwing hot. But I thought those guys have done a great job over the years, and that's the positive of not making major changes in our offense. They basically know, okay, we got a problem here, we got a problem there, and they know what to go to. So they've been good at it.
Anything else for Dave? We'll take one more.
You mentioned the big spotlight, and I know you must have noticed, obviously, that Dan took a lot of heat, especially in the last year.
I noticed that, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That give you any, I mean, how much has that changed? How much has that changed in your mind? And maybe, I don't know, social media or whatever it may be. And did that give you any pause, seeing, what he went through or the criticism?
No, at first, absolutely no pause whatsoever. This has been my goal, to get back to a position like this as a coordinator. Certainly, my positions as a coordinator in the past are nowhere close to where I'm at right now, though. And that would be in the big spotlight. And with the social media, what it is now, obviously, it becomes even a bigger spotlight. So it's a challenge, but it's something that I've wanted for a long time. The opportunity is here, and I'm certainly anxious, appreciative, but very anxious and eager and confident to go about these next couple months and years down the road to hopefully make us a good offense.